Today in Cannabis News, a Kentucky state lawmaker reintroduces a modified version of a statewide medical cannabis legalization proposal. California regulators announce funding to aid local cannabis company growth in the state, and the latest sales figures are released on cannabis tax revenue generated in states throughout the U.S. It's Tuesday, January 11th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, Kentucky state legislature has received a modified GOP-championed proposal to legalize medical cannabis statewide. The bill is a revision of Representative Jason Neam's previous attempts to legalize medical cannabis, and it contains a set of right-leaning changes intended at gaining widespread appeal from legislators, particularly those who make up the Republican majority in the legislature. In 2020, Representative Neams introduced a medical cannabis legalization proposal that easily cleared the state House, but expired before receiving a vote in the Senate during the initial stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. He resubmitted the bill for the 2021 session, but it failed to gain traction. Neams has been attempting to garner backing for the latest scaled-down iteration of the proposal for 2022, and he stated last year that he was certain it would advance if lawmakers find the courage to hold a vote on it. The most recent iteration of the recently submitted proposal, HB 136, would implement a more stringent system, forbidding residential cannabis growing and cannabis flower products. The proposal would enable patients to use whole plant items, but they would have to be vaporized. Next up, California authorities confirmed that state regulators have allocated $100 million in funds to assist in the development of local cannabis sectors, including the formal licensing of cannabis enterprises. The funding was allocated by the State Department of Cannabis Control to 17 localities with a considerable share of provisional cannabis permits instead of full-year permits. Last year, DCC stated that the Local Jurisdiction Assistance Grant Program was now accepting submissions. Provisional permits were able to be provided to company candidates as a manner of getting the recreational cannabis sector up and running faster, and that interim certification classification was due to end on January 1st, 2021, but was lengthened last year by lawmakers to offer local areas additional time to finish the licensing process and fulfill environmental standards. With the funds, state regulators now hope to give those areas a lift. Extra funding is also being made available to locations that have implemented social equity initiatives. Supplemental personnel to handle the significant demands linked to adapting companies into the regulated industry, IT infrastructure to expedite permit preparation, and the finalization of environmental impact studies and development strategies for water protection and sustainable energy are among the primary focuses of the funds, according to regulators. Last up, as per a report by the Marijuana Policy Project, sales taxes generated by states throughout the U.S. with legalized cannabis industries reached $10.4 billion as of December 2021, since the recreational cannabis sector began in Colorado and Washington state in 2014. The $10.4 billion contains over $3 billion in sales tax recorded so far in 2021. In many instances, that revenue is being distributed to much-needed public services and programs, including reinvesting in communities that were devastated by the war on drugs, said Karen O'Keefe, Director of State Policies at the Marijuana Policy Project. This is in stark contrast to cannabis prohibition, which costs taxpayers billions of dollars each year to enforce. Schooling, educational development, reading skills, libraries, rehabilitative services, alcohol and drug therapy, veterans programs, environmentalism, skills training, criminal expungement costs, and community revitalization are all aided by the tax revenue. For instance, in Colorado, $471.9 million was allocated to improve public schooling, and in California, upwards of $1 million was allocated to local and nonprofit organizations that assist those affected by drug criminalization. That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com. And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Tech in Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm RJ Balde, signing off.